So these soldiers got in trouble for not fighting with the enemy soldiers. They got in trouble because they drank and hung out and were merry with them on Christmas Eve. Yeah, that sounds like the world we live in. Joyeux Noel, released in 2005, and is directed by Christian Carian, who has also directed such films like The Girl from Paris, Farewell, Come What May, and Mason. And this film is starring Bino Fuman, Kwame Kane, Daniel Brühl, Diane Kruger, Gary Lewis, and Alex Ferns. And the reason why we're talking about Joyeux Noel today is because it was a PayPal recommendation and donation from a longtime contributor and supporter of this channel. This is a recommendation that she sent in a very long time ago, and I'm finally getting to it. Name the stars. Thank you very much for this recommendation. I don't know if you remember sending this in, but I remember you doing it last year, and I had it on the schedule, but then things, happened, life happened, and other reviews got in the way, and I missed it for the Christmas season, and you were very disappointed, so here it is, Christmas the following year, 2023, and I'm finally getting to watch it and review it and give you the shout out that you deserve. If anyone else out there also wants to be like Name the Stars and help support me and contribute to this channel, you can select the QR code that is in the bottom left part of your screen right now. Send over your donation with your movie recommendation. Any size donation will do, and if I have access to it, I will watch it, review it, and give you a little shout out, just like what I did with Name the Stars here. Joyeux Noel tells the famous World War I story of the Christmas truce, where several French, British, and German soldiers, all in the trenches in no man's land, agree to a ceasefire on Christmas Eve, where they all drink, eat, sing carols with each other, and are merry. However, once the senior officers of each force hears about this ceasefire, punishments start raining down. This is a story that if you're in the military or if you're in the armed forces and you are at a service around Christmas time, you'll probably hear this story and at least once every year, if not every other year. I know my dad, whenever he led the children's sermon in church when I was growing up, he would always mention this one around Christmas. And it's a beautiful, wonderful story that actually happened. Do the things specifically that happen in here actually happen? I don't know, I'm not a historian, but this idea that these enemy forces who are there shooting each other one day, and then they realize, it's Christmas Eve, we hear music, we hear laughter, it's supposed to be the time to be together and to have peace here on Earth. So why don't we just put down our guns for a couple of hours so that we can all relax and laugh and be happy for a little bit? Because World War I is such a mess of a war. I remember paying attention, yes, I paid attention in history classes when I was growing up in high school and then in college, just learning what led up to World War I. It was just all a big mess. Everyone was just getting all this pent-up aggression and all this pent-up anger with every other nation on the planet to where it just finally happened. World War I broke out because they were like, you know what, we just need to fight each other. Damn it, I just want to fight somebody. My country just wants to fight another country. It wasn't so black and white like World War II was, where we had this Nazi political party kind of brainwash an entire nation into starting to take over an entire continent. World War I was basically everyone was angry with each other and they all just wanted to fight each other. Some countries formed up and formed a team, the other countries formed up to form their team, and they all just went crazy. So to hear this story that this actually happened, where all these people just looked around and said, what are we frickin' fighting for? It's Christmas Eve. Can we just enjoy this frickin' holiday? It's inspiring, and it leads me to believe that there is some good in this world where we have enemy people on no man's land, of all places, no man's land, where we have people who just realize, no, peace on earth for tonight, please. It does your heart good. Now, for this story in this film aspect, the pacing here is a little interesting. Got a little slow and a little trudgy after a while. I never felt a sense of forward movement. It all just kind of felt like, oh, this is happening. We're all here. We're doing this. Okay. This may come off in an insult and, take it how you will. It felt very much like a Hallmark movie. Like if your dad, who is so into army stories and army shit, slowly wanted to progress his interest into Hallmark movies, this would be a nice gapping film for that. Because it dealt with a war, but it also has the sensibilities of, say, a Hallmark movie that, you could eventually lead you into some Hallmark romantic comedies, Dad. It's a very flat picture. It's a very surface level picture, I think. The only performance that really stood above the rest for me was Gary Lewis as Father Palmer. He enlists into the war with his 2 sons. Early on, he loses one of his sons, and he's there on the front lines. He delivers a sermon, actually, to all of these soldiers in Latin. And you can tell just how meaningful it was for this character to do that with all of these soldiers, only to have his bishop or whoever his leader is come in and says, "I'm so disappointed with you. You're being sent back. You're not gonna belong here." You can see him lose faith. And it's heartbreaking, but it's definitely the performance of the movie. It also just leads the story into the most annoying part of this whole situation, is that these forces did this. They had a ceasefire. They actually showed love and respect to another. And then all these major generals come in and they're like, "No, I'm so angry. We should have bombed them. We should have killed them." Someone being scolded for not fighting and not causing death. Like, I feel like that's the opposite of what we're taught in kindergarten. I feel like in kindergarten, we're taught to respect others and not fight with others and be helpful and share things with everyone. And here these grown adults are being scolded because they had a ceasefire and they're like, "You didn't kill anyone!" This is why I never had a desire to join the armed forces. War just doesn't make sense to me. Fighting like this doesn't make sense to me. If you want a nice retelling of this beautiful Christmas story, then definitely check out Joyeux Noel. If you're looking for groundbreaking storytelling or groundbreaking cinematography, you're probably not going to get that here. This felt, again, very much like a Hallmark or a made-for-TV film. It's nothing that I'm going to be clamoring for to watch every single year at Christmas time, but again, it's a beautiful story. I'm going to give Joyeux Noel 2.5 out of 5 Blu-rays.
I found that if you have a goal, that you might not reach it. But if you don't have one, then you are never disappointed. And I gotta tell you, it feels phenomenal.
So guys, did you see Joyeux Noel? What did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across it because of this video, then comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button to make sure you hit that bell. See you on the next time I release the next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time on the channel, but in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.